This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
So this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text us on 81215. You can follow I should have learnt this after 10 years. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Morning, Frank.
Morning.
Hello, morning.
It will be
Happy Easter.
Oh, and to you, my friend. Is that what you say in the
do.
church, my friend? Would that go down well?
Yeah, I think that would be all
Trying to get
right.
into that
Hard
speak. Yeah. Oh, that sounds good. I'll use that.
But, well, you only have to say, not to each other, though.
Oh,
God.
okay.
My son wished me a happy Good Friday yesterday, which slightly goes against the old Catholic mood of Good Friday. And it was, I was fine with that. Yeah.
It's been a year to the day. I know tomorrow it'll be a year to the day since Frank performed fabulous work as an on-air doula and helped my sister Amy bring her baby boy Jude into the world.
I remember
Thank
that.
you, Frank.
Yeah.
This is from 091. We wondered if Frank had been called in since then to assist in any other medical situations. That's from Ruth.
I think
there
you
you go.
shouted push, didn't you?
Yeah.
And that helped, apparently.
Yeah, I did that over CB radio.
Turns out it's a lot easier than they make it out to be, the doula thing.
Yeah, giving birth in a Luton van on a hard shoulder near Wickham. Yeah, that was a big moment for me. They sent photos and stuff. And, the placenta in the glove compartment.
Yes.
Okay.
To the tune of Girlfriend in a Coma. That's
Morning.
That's what they sang to me.
Morning, everyone.
Hit the ground running, haven't we?
Oh, we've got chocolate rabbits from the
where's
producer.
My rabbit gone? Where's my rabbit?
Lint. Is
Did
it
you leave it
Lint
through there?
or
Yeah.
Lind?
Oh,
Lind
Good
is what
question.
someone called Linda would have been called in Birmingham when I was a teenager. We never went to the second syllable of anyone.
Lind.
Yeah, Lind.
This
Can I say? Yeah,
that's my tradition.
I'll tell you what I love about
The bunny's
it
bell.
is that our former producer always used to get us a chocolate Lind bunny at
Don't
Easter.
talk about the ex-partner.
I know. And what I love about it is not only has Sarah got us one, she's got us one slightly bigger than the ones we used to get.
Oh, is it the bigger?
There's a feeling, we've all upsized somewhat. Hey, we've gone deluxe. That's the suggestion. Because they've got no interest in the past, the young people. No respect for the golden age.
Not interested
is that
in history.
No, it's all about progress now.
Is it?
People used to think that the ancients was a golden age which we'd receded from, but now, of course, people think things are always getting better.
Wow.
There you go. Put that in your chocolate pipes and smoke it Easter
arguably
Saturday. Easter
Arguably,
Saturday.
things are always getting better.
Do you believe that?
Yeah. I think there's a general trend.
Yeah, you're only my
It's
age.
Upwards.
I don't mind that, but I don't like it when people sneer at you. I'm not suggesting anyone in this room does this, for mentioning something that happened in the year before they were born.
No, that's...
I mentioned Julian
outrageous.
Dix not long ago to someone, and he said, "Can you talk about people this side of the millennium?"
Yeah.
You see, what I can't forgive for that is they didn't say, "Do you know Julian Dix?" You could have said, "No, but thanks for the tip."
Works on several
forgive them for
levels.
that. No, I'm amazed that Alan thinks everything's getting better. He's one of the grumpiest men I know.
Thank you. But I specifically said I think the general trend is up.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say my mood is specifically getting better.
I'll tell you, on the sense of improvement and progress, I went to the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium
Oh, yeah.
for a game.
How was that?
Sorry for your loss.
They won.
So Huddersfield Wallaby.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Al.
I'm sorry. We were playing Huddersfield.
I mean, yeah.
We? Oh, my God.
What's happened to you?
What the
I can't do the rest of the show.
OMG! You can't do the rest of your life.
Oh, my...
OMG!
No!
I take it back about things getting better.
Oh,
He just
no.
said we.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
He just said we.
Have you got any of that chlorodil? I can't. That's genuinely upset me.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, man. Thank goodness we got a break.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
I'm still reeling.
Oh, yeah,
wow,
from
you're
your,
not the only
See,
one.
my son
Your
supports.
Frank Skinner is a Tottenham supporter.
No.
Mm-hmm.
My son is a Tottenham supporter, and anyway.
On his behalf, you
your-
said we.
Your love for him just gave you. You meant you had an inclusive moment there.
That's what it was. It was
Okay.
empathy. Let's
Yeah.
put it there.
It was a family we, Frank.
I had. I love a family way. You know what I mean? If you can actually park the car.
Yeah.
I tell you what. I was at the Tottenham match. I mentioned the black chicken, which
Oh,
is
yes.
what my son calls their symbol. And someone said it's not a chicken, it's a cockerel. A chicken lays eggs. I said I think chicken is a generic title for for that
Right.
kind of poultry. I think the cockerel comes under the chicken. They said no. You got to lay eggs to be a chicken. Anyway, I've since looked it up, and it defined cockerel as male chicken.
Oh,
No disrespect. If you're interested in the Latin, Gallus gallus. That's the Latin for the chicken.
Gallus.
Yeah, I've always been a bit of a fan of those Latin names in brackets after an animal. Because
Oh, yes,
some
me
real
too.
crackers. What's your favourite?
Oh, I don't
That's
know.
about that for our
Talk about hospital parts.
Exactly. Mine is the gorilla's Latin
Oh,
name.
what's that?
It is. Have a guess.
Gorillas. I don't know.
Grillas. Yeah.
It's actually gorilla. It is. I mean, so good they named it twice, the gorilla.
Excellent.
Oh, man. What's your favourite Latin animal name? 8, 12, 15. Then we get zoologists and stuff listen
We
to the
do, yeah.
programme, so anything's possible.
If there's anybody
get
in
them all.
Scotland listening, am I right in thinking that gallus used to be a word for that's brilliant? Like,
Is that right?
Yeah.
And William Gallus, of course.
Oh, maybe.
Yes.
I might have misremembered it. I'm sure they'll let me know.
Anyway, we
Have in the past.
we went as a family to the Spurs Huddersfield game.
Did you?
Kath came as well.
She didn't.
No, I used
She
to take...
didn't.
When Kath first went out with me, she used to come to West Brom with me because she was, it was that stage of the relationship. It was nice
No, it's
underwear
what I
and
call-
going to West Brom.
And, I like Kung Fu movies too.
Yeah, exactly. It was all a bit of that.
We've all done it,
And then one day she said to me, can I just say I'm never coming here again? She said, there's 3 things I hate about it: the cold, the noise, and people coming up to you and talking about football. These were difficult things to eliminate.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
But she did like it to Tottenham. That's another one.
Oh,
Another one.
bites the dust.
When they had salad.
They had salad at the
within it.
football.
Yeah, they had salad. Still amazing. In 1999, still a symbol of hoity-toity, isn't it? Salad. So
Did you just say it was 1999?
Oh, sorry, 2019.
He supports Spurs. He's a time
Sorry,
traveller.
no, I
I
was
hate to
What
jump
the
on
hell?
verbal errors, but when they're literally that
Sorry.
far out.
No, I was on about how much the salad cost. Of course, Marquis Smith supposedly once sacked a studio engineer for ordering salad.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So you've set up one of our really mainstream text-ins. What are your favourite Latin names for animals?
There you
Oh,
go.
yes,
yeah.
yes.
As the switchboard's been lit up.
Yes.
I think that might be somewhat overstating it.
Okay.
321 rather has an explanation for why it might not have lit up the switchboard quite as much as
Okay.
it might. Some plant names in Latin are quite rude, and then gives a couple of examples
Oh,
that
no.
Well, I was thinking animal, though.
I cannot broadcast.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all going to be animal,
of course.
vegetable, or mineral.
Good point. Well, in real terms, we've had 935 has said real animal, common toad, brackets, bufo. That's
I like
one F.
I like that one.
Fictional
Common toad breaking wind.
fictional animal. I can't say that. Fictional animal.
We were all with you on that. It's lovely.
While e coyote brackets eatibus anything us.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I love a cartoon Latin name.
Yeah, it's good.
That's even more obscure. We're not having a texting on your favourite cartoon. Oh, God, I used to watch those cartoons over and over and over,
Good.
those Roadrunners. I have to say, they're somewhat formulaic.
As an
Yeah.
adult or as a child?
A child and an adult.
I was an adult. It's bad, Frank.
Do you think?
You think?
What's my worst thing is seeing an adult watching a cartoon
Oh,
and
really?
hearing I once saw an adult an adult
Even
man.
like The Simpsons or...
I walked into a room and I just heard the rabbit kick the bucket, and I just thought this is a very depressing scene.
Was that the end of another relationship there based on that?
It was actually my father.
Oh, okay.
So in many ways.
The rabbit kicked the bucket.
But do you know what I mean? You can't be watching that in the daytime.
No, maybe not in the
Okay.
daytime.
Alan's shaking his head, he's not sure.
I feel like what we already know about your father, he was living life on several different
You're right.
levels.
But
It's true.
He
dare
did
I
take
tell
that book
you?
on holiday.
He took on holiday The Psychology of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind. So he was allowed to...
Wasn't all cartoons, was it?
Subtitle: The rabbit kicked the bucket. Well, I have to. Well, you'll hate me for this. Then I had a Wile E. Coyote little model that used to be on my desk. So I thought, if you're writing, it's a symbol
Oh, yeah.
of constantly carrying on, regardless of setbacks.
Yes.
I think I also had keyring, badge, Codley.
Wow, you went for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He became my inspirational figure.
397 is claiming Latin for cat is cats. And then,
See that? I
Oh,
hope
it's
that's
not.
true.
and then they add perfect. Sorry about that. So they've even done the pun, but
Pete, you got
apologised
that.
for the...
Make an effort,
the pun.
cats.
Anyway, look, I was telling you, I was
yes.
at Spurs.
Oh, yes.
I met
The
a
new
man.
stadium.
Yeah, I met a man who collected football shirts of the famous,
All right.
and he had 850 football shirts.
Oh,
I know, brilliant. I mean, he showed me photos all on hangers. It was pretty amazing,
wow.
including Martin Peters' World Cup shirt.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks. I was waiting for the wow. It was. I was excited by it. I must say.
So you're a fan of the ground?
Yes, a nice ground.
Wow.
Was there closure with that chap, the shirt collector? I'm
Yeah.
assuming that he hasn't watched...
Well, he was asking me what I'd got.
I'm assuming he hasn't watched Marie Kondo's magic life-changing
Oh, yeah.
tidying program.
Well, if you saw how he stocked the shirts, all in the same shape cover, and all, I mean, they couldn't be any neater.
Oh,
all in.
okay.
I think
they're
they're
not just on his bedroom floor
No,
when he's
no.
last worn them.
No. Then they're. I think they're all in chronological order and
Oh, wow.
stuff. It's pretty remarkable.
Marie Kondo, she won't like that bulging trophy cabinet at Spurs. Oh, you're all right.
Look, it's not my team.
I know it's
my
not,
son's
Frank.
team.
It's not now.
I know.
No.
Now they've been
And
zinged.
also, I'm not mocking anyone about not having a bulging trophy cabinet.
That's true.
I have enough of that from my personal trainer.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
got
Abracadabra,
Bit needy.
type of ground beetle.
Is that right?
Ian Botterill says.
Wow, I never knew that. And that's where
great.
abracadabra comes from.
Presumably.
No, I think it was the magic first, and then they named the ground beetle.
Well, they
after it.
might have done.
I don't know.
I mean, the
Might
ground
have
beetle might be
pretended.
some Arab East.
Whenever I do a magic trick, I always say gorilla, gorilla. Gorilla, gorilla.
Was that?
Have you got any Jake Thackeray? Have you got any? Have you got any memorabilia
Me, memorabilia.
of any kind?
I don't think I do. I might have some old stuff at home. When I say at home, I mean my mum's home.
What would it be of? Football stuff.
Yeah, there might be some stuff left of like my dad's, like books about stuff. And no, I don't. I personally haven't collected anything. Is
I'm
that-
thinking
I have.
association with the famous is what. I was
All right.
Well, don't stop me on that. Let's keep it tidy. I've got a bit of sporting memorabilia, some of which I've mentioned on this show. I have the Stuart Broad cricket bat,
Of course.
which he gave to me in very innocent circumstances, may
Yeah.
I say. I also have...
It didn't sound that dodgy.
Okay.
Protestant.
Also, possibly, yes. Also, an autograph, as you may recall, from Frank Bruno. Do you remember how he signed it to me, Frank?
No.
Oh. I think he put something like Emma.
To Emma.
Oh.
Love. F. Bruno.
F. Bruno.
Okay.
Well, he's a
Love
busy
it.
bloke.
I know.
I've got a gold pocket watch from 1920.
Shut up.
West Bromwich Albion is the only time they ever won the league. And in those days, they hadn't come up with the idea of getting medals for people who won the league. They had them for the cup, but not the league. And so the Albion gave everyone an engraved pocket watch.
Nice.
And I've got Tommy McGee's.
Have you?
Yeah, pretty pleased with that.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to get you something of Harry Kane's now.
Boz has got
changed allegiance.
Boz has got a signed photograph of Harry
Well,
Kane
I
that someone
know.
gave him. Oh, and I've got an 1888 FA Cup winners medal.
Oh.
Yeah. So what about that? Owls are... Oh, no. It's all right.
Heaven's
Stop myself.
sake.
It's, it's in my... I've been doing that for years. It's hard to just drop it.
Well, that was the problem.
If anyone's got any weird memorabilia of celebrities of any kind, I'd love
Maybe
to hear
clean.
about it. I mean, there's
Okay.
all sorts of strangeness. Like, the Elvis Warp Museum.
Well, you had
In
the Elvis
America.
shirt, Frank.
I had the Elvis shirt, but
Have you still got it?
I gave it to the Tsunami Fund.
Oh, did
Oh,
you?
lovely.
I did.
Never knew that.
$8,500, I think they got for it.
All right.
Okay, it's nice we know the price.
Yeah, well, I was relieved.
Better than
Oh, can I
nothing.
tell you the absolute amazing best thing about the Tottenham Hotspur versus Huddersfield experience?
Oh, yes.
I've just remembered some other memorabilia I've got. I've got my name on. Now, do you remember these pictures? You'd never see them now. You'd have people sitting on directors' chairs.
Yes.
And they'd have their
Yes.
name on the back, like, Ursula Andress, and she'd
Yeah.
be sitting on. Do they still do that? I haven't seen one of those
Yeah.
pictures for ages.
I know exactly what you mean.
Anyway, I've got my Doctor Who, Frank Skinner, chair back.
Oh,
I just kept the cloth back.
that is good.
And that's a special one. Anyway, the thing that won Cath over completely at the new Tottenham Stadium, I don't think this is throughout the ground, I don't know, but we was in like a nice bit. Heated seats.
Nice.
Oh, come on.
So, those heated seats you get in cars?
Oh,
God.
Quicker than
oh.
that. Ping.
Got 'em in my car.
You put it on and ping.
Frank, apparently there are dog toilets there as well.
Are there?
Yes.
Wow. What, people can take dogs?
I believe so. Someone said there are dog toilets.
Well, I never saw that, but we can find someone will know. Dog toilets at the Tottenham Hotspur
For
Stadium.
next.
Wow. Well, the heated seat, honestly, it was like sitting on the future.
Yeah.
It was really something.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you wouldn't need it today.
No.
But you know what? I might put mine on anyway if I was there.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Oh, I did. I hosted a
Dinner party.
a television quiz.
Oh, one out.
Oh,
Yeah,
how was that?
it was at the BFI,
You
Oh,
love
nice.
a quiz.
and
I do love a quiz.
someone pulled out last minute. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't their first thought,
Oh.
but I have friends there, so I went and did it. It was good. It was enjoyable. Proper hardcore quizzes in there.
Oh, was it?
So it was stuff like, who did Shane Rimmer voice on Thunderbirds? Any offers?
Okay, hang on a second.
8, 12,
You
15?
can guess it, can't you?
No?
It's going to be somebody called Tracy, probably.
Oh, Tracy.
Yeah, you remember Tracy, the blonde receptionist at Tracy Island? No, Scott Tracy, he played
okay.
he did
Did
the
most
voice.
people get that right?
Oh,
Nearly got it.
yeah.
Another one.
Thunderbird 1.
Any more questions?
Thunderbird 1, I'd say, was the default Thunderbird, would you?
Okay, well, yeah, I suppose so. I like your character. I'm only an old man.
Yeah, that was Stingray.
You're a stingray. Okay.
Just an old man, Commander. So it was very good, but I was doing gags And there was a very strong feeling they didn't want them, the quizzes, the proper quizzes.
The quizzes.
It's like trying to getting someone to help you with a crossword who was trying to land a plane. A real sort of, okay, that's funny, but can you stop talking now? There's a very strong sense of that.
No, I think because they're quite dedicated, the quizzes.
Yeah.
And
But I respect them for that, of course.
Well, I've been on a quiz team with you, and I know that.
Oh, God.
We
Did
took
it make
that
them a
so
tough crowd?
seriously, Frank.
Oh, my
and it
word.
paid off. Our hard work paid off. Didn't
My
it?
worst thing, I've told you about this before, is that I used to go back from that quiz, and I do this whenever I do a quiz, and I fantasise about having got the questions right that I got wrong.
Frank, so do I. I still, not long ago, thought of a question. I'm sorry if David Baddiel's listening. I never forgot this. He shouted me
God.
down and I was right.
Oh, okay.
And
You're
I
right, you've never forgot it.
That's the trouble with a quiz.
I know this about you. And I've forgotten quizzes that I've
He said, no, you've got that wrong. No, David, I was right.
I did share my favourite TV quiz moment of all time, which was on Family Fortunes.
What was
Do you know
that?
this one? When they said, can you name... You know when the two people go up, there was an old lady and a young woman, and they went up to... You know, you have to hit the thing hard.
Oh, yeah, the buzzer.
To get the... And the question was, name someone who people believe in, although their existence has never been proved. And this woman went, Hitler. And Bob Monkhouse said, no, I've just noticed it's Hitler's birthday. Weird. This one, Bob Monkhouse said, no, I'm pretty. There's pretty strong evidence that he existed. Okay, and he said, Enid. Now, once the other one's pressed the button, you don't have to. But Enid still hit the button really hard. Suddenly, she's probably. I mean, she was about 80. Hit the button really hard. Bob Monkhouse jumped. She said, a driving licence. The whole studio went into a strange sort of inertia. There wasn't a laugh. There was just a general sense that the world had gone wrong.
What question had she heard?
She,
But you know what? I've never really believed in driving licences.
No, lots of people don't. Anyway, she was still trying to answer the previous question, which was things that you'd find in a woman's handbag.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 8 12 15. Some have, some will. That's my prediction. Mm-hmm. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, and email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Incidentally, speaking of, I think was it Instagram we had contact this week? Twitter. Some of you who listen to the show regularly, you know the 7 people I'm talking about. You may have heard that last week I was at a nice hotel and sat very adjacent to Peter Crouch.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And didn't quite summon up the courage to speak to him, even though, I mean, literally, without leaning forward, I could have put my hand on his thigh. I mean, he's a man of a long thigh. Mm-hmm.
But, what is he, 6'7", I reckon?
6'7", I believe, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Anyway...
he strikes me as a nice man. Why didn't you say hello?
Well, it's also...
Bashful.
You know, I was bashful, and also, you know, sometimes at these places people go to not be spoken to. Can you imagine such a thing?
Yes.
Can I just say Frank's view, which he told me on going to the hotel breakfast area, was... Yeah. Why would people stay in their room? You remember what you said to me, Frank? I loved it. You said, I don't know why people would stay in their room. I like it because I can go down and everyone says, oh, that's Frank Skinner.
Yeah, exactly. Not everyone, but I like to have a gawp at who's staying at the hotel.
Right.
Yeah.
When people going up for food, they're incredibly self-conscious. Just walking around the breakfast room, people are so watching themselves.
Yeah, there's a bit of a nature documentary in the breakfast bit.
Do you know what?
Relax, it's fine.
Well, you're so right, and there's lots of sorry, I'm just getting the rolls here. I'll just get the bacon.
Exactly.
Have the tongs, please, thank you.
And people are walking back, sort of visually apologising for what's on their plate. It's okay. It's breakfast. Have what you like. Anyway.
Carrying too much often as well.
Well, you know, it's the NOC.
Anyway,
the national obesity crisis.
Crouchy.
Anyway,
Crouchy.
So Crouchy has been in touch,
He has.
saying that he went through the same angst.
Oh,
That we both sat there, desperate, like ships
Can I
in
tell
the night.
I'll tell you exactly what he said.
Go on.
He tweeted us, Crouchy, to say, can I just say, I did notice Frank after I'd been there for 2 minutes and I was dying to talk to him, but I bottled it as well.
Yeah, so there we
Oh.
sat.
Oh, Crouchy.
Who knows? I mean, when I think of all the things that could have happened in life if you hadn't bottled those, I'll just say something to this person.
yeah.
Yeah, remember me and Shaquille O'Neal. Never mind.
He could be
Yeah.
sitting here now, Crouchy. What about that? If we'd
Yeah.
spoke. That's unlikely, but you know. But no, it's nice. So next time I see Peter Crouch, I'm going to...
Say hi.
I was thinking I might jump on his back for a lark.
Oh, don't
But
do that.
That
I need,
ended
you know,
well
those
last time it
small
happened to you.
trampolines that you get. I would have had to carry one of those with me.
Well,
Yeah.
just
No.
remember what
I'll
happened
definitely
with
speak
Heston
to-
Blumenthal.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
what I
you've
was
never
thinking.
got over that.
But, yeah, but you don't want Blumenthal on your back. He's a big
No.
unit.
True.
He is a big unit.
On the
Large
subject
thigh, I
of
reckon.
on the subject of football, sort of, you were asking for Latin names. We've had for animals.
And not for Peter Crouch.
No, the
No.
Latin name for the small hawk, the hobby, is Falco subutio, and subutio became trademark of the overrated table footy game.
You're very overrated.
Yeah.
Rubbish, in fact, Sabutio.
It's worth reading this just for that overrated remark.
Well, Sabutio would be in my worst children's games of all time. And I'm a massive football fan, but the
I never understood it. Did you just flick it with your hands?
Yeah, it was...
What's the point of that?
It was. I think it led a lot of that to that bogey flicking that was a big thing in the 70s. It was the dullest.
So
game.
did not even you enjoy it?
Oh, I got the Albion team. I never ever took them out the box.
Oh.
Well, if I could just finish the point.
Sorry, carry on.
Sorry.
They were trying to name it Hobby, and because Hobby was already trademarked, they went for Subutio, because hawk is the hawk is called Hobby, and then they couldn't call it Hobby, so they
I'm
called it
with ya.
Subutio, which is the Latin name of that bird.
What's Peter Crouch's? Do you think
Oh,
it's
Crouchus.
Crouchus when entering rumours?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've got a good factual email if you're interested.
Oh,
I say email, I mean text message,
I
sorry.
love the facts.
On the subject of animals' scientific names, brackets, we no longer call them Latin names as newly discovered species are not actually Latin anymore.
Oh,
Boa constrictor, brackets, boa constrictor, is the only animal whose scientific name and common name are exactly the same.
really? Well, gorilla is in there.
It's close.
It's definitely
It's not
in
exactly
there.
the same.
No,
From
unless
Mark,
there's two of them.
Mark, hard at work in Watford, doesn't
Well,
say what
Not
doing.
that hard at work, Mark.
No.
You're listening to our texting on Latin names.
Well, if his work is contributing to scientific radio textings,
Oh yeah, he might be
unlikely,
boa constrictor keeper.
maybe.
Helen Jackman has been in touch as well. Hi guys, happy Easter.
If she'd have just put H. Jackman, we'd have been excited. wouldn't we?
You're right.
Hey?
On the Latin for animals, mine is for meerkats. Suricata suricata. Sounds like something you would eat as tapas in Spain.
Sirica, and also,
That's quite Harry Potter, I think.
if you were writing about their mating habits, the headline could be Suricata, the unstoppable sex machine. That, for me, would be worth it. Oh, I'll tell you what, that and what I never mentioned about my TV quiz is my goodie
yes.
bag.
What'd you get?
I got a goodie bag with 2 bottles of gin
What?
and an ornamental night mask. Well, there's a night out for someone.
Night in.
I mean,
That sounds like my life in the 90s.
an ornamental night mask.
Hang on, talk me through the night mask.
So you know what? Well, you know what I mean by night mask. The thing that you wear, like on a plane.
Yeah.
You know, some people can't
Eye
sleep.
goggles type thing. Sleep mask.
Yeah.
I call it all of those things.
I call it Top Cat.
Yeah.
The top cat kind of mask. Is it actually a fabric mask, Frank? Top
Oh, I
cat
love
style.
that.
Yeah, it's the ones that keep the light out.
Yeah, you know, when Top Cat goes to sleep, it's the last thing he does.
Does he?
He
Okay,
brushes his teeth.
I'd forgot
and
that.
he whacks on the mask before
What's
going
that,
into the bin.
Condemnation of adults watching.
Yeah, I know.
Just thinking
Top
that.
Cat doesn't
Just
count.
thinking that.
Oh,
Top Cat doesn't count.
You can't say. You can't pick out your favourites.
Okay.
She can apparently.
Listen, I want to establish his cartoons. I didn't say I'd never refer to cartoons I watched as a child.
Nevertheless,
I don't watch it as an adult.
So you've never watched Top Cat since you were a child.
No.
Okay. So it's stuck in your memory.
Yeah.
Anyway, this one, it's got a face of a sort of a mysterious woman of the East type feel in it, but obviously
Right.
no eyes.
Okay.
And it's like it's got that kind of Venice carnival
Oh,
feel.
yes, I understand.
But
Yeah,
then
the masked ball.
It's got a black face fringe,
Oh,
which
really?
would go past your chin.
Well, a full
Sounds
fabric.
extraordinary.
You know, it's
But
like
not like tassels or
a
anything.
beaded curtain.
Oh, wow.
A black. But what I don't understand is that seems to work if you're standing,
Right.
but not so much if you're in bed. You're just going to keep.
It's just gonna-
You're going to keep emerging.
Yeah.
Where are the tassels going to go?
It's acting
Then I
it out as
started
you were
to. Then
describing
Kat
it.
said to me she thought it might be an adult plaything,
Oh.
so that's stayed in the box.
Oh, maybe it was.
Also, there was a makeup bag, which has made me quite a nice pencil case.
Oh, good.
My first ever nude pencil case. She's got that collar, you know, nude.
Oh, you know I love a nude.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant for pencils that were nude.
What, no rubbers?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I am a Catholic.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Allen. Hi.
Emily.
You know I love me a bit of WSM news.
Yes.
Do you know what that is, Al?
I'm worried. What is it?
Don't worry, Frank. I'm not straying into your community.
Good.
World's Strongest Man.
Ah, yes.
I have a very, very soft spot for those boys after I spent a week with them in Malta several years ago. And I've told you sorry, that's my stomach. I've told you my...
Mazel tov.
I've told you my anecdotes about the World's Strongest Men many times. You're familiar with them, about how one of them broke a toilet seat. One of them...
In a demonstration of his strength.
Well, I should have say he literally just sat on it and broke it.
I thought he was going to sound like he put it around his neck and then clenched and it
Hold on,
shattered
like
into 1,000
Bending
pieces.
nails and stuff.
I mean, just...
breaking toilet seats.
No, he came back into the bar and he said, "Oh, I just bust the toilet seat." And I said, "What did you do?" He said, "I sat on it."
Brilliant.
This was a regular thing. And then they broke the garden chair.
I don't like the thought of it.
It's probably quite scary, actually, to break the toilet seat.
I was at a baptism, post-baptism party.
Oh, rock and roll.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
And
Another showbiz anecdote from Skinner.
there was a very, very
We're
large,
so horrible.
very large relative there, and he sat on a garden seat, and it just sank into the lawn, and in the end, he was just basically sitting on the lawn, but still on the seat. It's complete. It just went down quite quickly as well. Not as slow as you might. Not over the course of the afternoon. Over the course of about 3 seconds. It just went like it had always belonged. You know, on a car park, those things that come up and stop you driving off, and then they go down. It was like that.
They've become part of the landscape.
And also,
Thought
I
he was
mean,
on terra
every
firma.
bloke there thought of something he needed to do, not on the lawn, because you knew we had to lift this bloke up off the seat. And then what?
Dear. Anyway,
Where's he going to sit now? I think he stayed down for what must have been half an hour.
Still there.
No, the seat's probably still there.
the seat's always going to be there.
I think if you pull the seat out of that lawn, you're King of England.
Oh, right.
It's a monument now. Is that what happened to Arthur?
Yeah, it's called The Seat in the Lawn. Do you remember that famous... That's a cartoon I've watched recently. Anyway,
So, World's Strongest Men.
well, you guys You've spent time with the world's strongest man.
Yeah.
I think Al must be moving towards at least the long list of world's strongest.
I'm not.
True.
I am a person who gets sent videos and photographs of other people working out. As
Don't
if
we
they're
all do?
saying, "Hey, look, we're done."
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I get that. So, I know people in the strength world, but not
What
these
sort of-
guys. I mean, these people are...
In the strength
I love
world.
the strength.
I haven't been on holiday to Malta with them. Didn't one of them lift you over their head?
I've got a picture of it. I might even put it on the socials.
Brilliant.
I was aloft.
Yeah.
It was very frightening,
Oh, I don't
Frank.
think I'd like that.
Would you not?
I'm always worried about the slam.
Oh, right.
Do you remember Giant Haystack's famous slam? He used to lift people up and then slam them down on the canvas, and
No.
then he'd drop on top of them.
Yeah.
No, mine didn't do that.
No,
He treated me very respectfully.
you wouldn't be here now, probably.
No. Well, the main thing was, as you know, the diet. They have to drink. They have
lot of
buckets
eating.
of porridge, actual buckets.
Yeah,
It was like breakfasting with a horse.
yeah.
No.
My goodness, we might have to stop it there. I think we need to regroup. He's moving towards Winnie Mandela as the next one.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We're talking about the world's strongest men. Two of the contestants.
Yeah.
Two of Eddie the Beast Hall and what's the other one called, Al? Is it Brian Shaw?
Yes.
No nickname in the middle. No parentheses.
That's his
Okay.
nickname, actually. It's Brian, no nickname, Shaw.
Okay.
What would you give? He's got to have something.
He probably does, actually. It's just not in this.
I didn't like that Eddie.
Nicknames BS. Could that lead to anything?
No.
I didn't like that Eddie the Beast Hall wrote a book, an autobiography, and there was a lot of potential there. And you know what he went for?
My story.
Beast is beast.
He went for Strongman. My story.
Ah.
Beast of Burden. It was
Yeah,
there.
it could have been
Yeah.
all sorts of beast things. Beast of
Beauty.
Eden.
Beauty
Beauty
and
and the Beast, him and his wife,
yeah,
maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway.
He didn't.
Maybe the next one. Maybe the novel.
Yeah.
They were sat next to each other on an economy flight to Scotland.
He doesn't do signings, he does tearings in half.
Remember Jeff Capes used to do that?
I was talking about this recently. We never really got to the bottom of
No.
it. Do people still tear
Phone
telephone
directories.
directories? But then,
I said to you, they do decks of cards now.
oh yeah, you did.
Weaklings
That's
decks
right.
of cards.
I
I
think
could do
I
I
that.
think they also use lung power to blow up a hot water bottle.
Oh yeah,
don't they?
that's a traditional one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
And that is good.
meanwhile, over on the plane,
I can't even blow up a balloon some days. But anyway, we'll go with it. Go on.
this is a problem for them. I don't know if you know this, Al, but when you're travelling with strongmen, you don't, just
Of
FYI,
course he knows.
you what is it, Frank? The strength world.
The strength
The
world.
strength world. I've got friends that are in the strength world, by which I mean they lift weights and then send me pictures of it.
So in the strength world, it's known that you cannot sit two strong men next to each other
yeah.
on economy flight. You just can't.
Why would you?
The girth of the thigh will kill them.
I would have thought
Yeah.
that would have been like lesson 3 in being an air host.
In the strength world, yeah.
Like
All cabin crew should
cabin
know.
crew should know that.
Yeah.
But why?
Cabin crew
why?
101, isn't it?
But why can't you sit them next to each other?
Because they're too damn big.
They overlap. They have chair overlap.
Okay.
But what about the poor person who has to sit next to them if they're
Well,
you know what I mean?
this is the point. Eddie the Beast Hall himself said the check-in ladies sat me and
Brian Shaw.
Brian
next to each
Shaw's
other on the
actual
plane from
strength.
London to Scotland, and no one on the plane would swap seats with us. And then he said, "Would you swap seats with us? I wouldn't either."
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
self-awareness
Good on him,
from the
yeah.
strength community. Not always
Self-aware
common.
funniness. Oh no, they're quite funny.
And I
Oh,
do
God,
know-
you're going to defend them, obviously.
Of course I am. They'll snap me in half otherwise, probably.
But it costs a lot of money to travel around the world as a strongman. You know, some of my friends, Phil Pfister, told me that.
What's his nickname? Anyway,
Yeah. Leave it.
I
Phil
think
Pfister.
don't they make Viagra, sister?
Oh,
That's Pfizer. That's Pfizer.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Surely also aerodynamically putting two strong men
Don't
on the
send me any.
same...
Don't send me any free stuff.
No.
By the way.
Well, there were. Sorry. What?
Putting two strong men next to each other on the
Yeah.
same side of the plane. Did the plane then fly just with one wing slightly
Well,
lower
it's
than
all
the
gone a
other?
bit
all the way
garden,
to Scotland?
garden chair sinking into the
But
soil.
that is a fair point. I think
We
from
flew
a
in a
balance,
circle the whole time.
I'd want one at the back and one at the front.
Me too.
personally.
That's what I did.
Sorry, is the mic
mean-
still on? No,
Easy, Al. Easy.
I mean, if you had them both sitting at the back, you could end up in outer space, couldn't you?
Well, exactly.
How do you actually get the nose down if you got Brian and the Beast at the back? Brian and the Beast, the less successful sequel to Beauty and the Beast. But very modern.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We're in the middle of discussing the world's strongest men, but I'd just like to break off briefly because 618 has some news. Morning, guys. Just listening to the bizarre animal names, and it made me think of the sarcastic fringehead. It's a very territorial fish with an enormous gaping mouth. Fantastic.
It's actually called the sarcastic fringe.
I mean, really? Well, he says from the Thinking Soldier. He says Louth, Lincolnshire. Louth. Is Louth a place in Lincolnshire?
I think it is.
Oh, okay, great. I thought it was like North or something like Louth was another coordinate.
No, I don't. This is to me.
Did
This
you?
link is like an avant-garde poem. I have no idea what's going on at all.
If you read Louth, Lincolnshire,
Yeah.
you'd assume it was like North-South. It sounds a bit like South. I just got confused
I
seeing it
think
written.
it's the name, the hotel checking-in name used by Sarah Lancashire, so that fans don't know where she's staying.
Anyway, the sarcastic fringehead.
Okay, and that's a real fish,
Oh, could you find out, please? Thank you.
or is it in a novel written by Louth, Lincolnshire? Because it's probably one of those Scandi things. That's what he sounds like. Anyway,
So
yeah,
what
the
do you
world's
think
strongest-
of these men on the I mean, as I say, Phil Pfister and Derek Poundstone,
Your guys.
two genuine WSM friends of mine, they were always saying this was an issue, the travelling on
The
planes.
fact that normal furniture is not for like superhuman massive
No,
specimens.
they've had breakages and all
Oh,
sorts.
yeah.
I don't know what you can do about that, though. I mean, it's utilitarianism, isn't it? The greatest good
You're right.
for the greatest number. I think of. Yes. So
You're listening to Radio 4's Philosophy Now.
Yeah. John Stuart Millhour.
Can I just tell you, the sarcastic fringehead is a real fish.
That's amazing.
When two fringeheads have a territorial battle, it's a bit like Blur of the Oasis.
Yeah.
They wrestle,
Oh, yeah.
it's for you in the strength world,
Good.
by pressing their distended mouths against each other as if they were kissing.
Mouth wrestling.
I'm surprised.
This allows them
We've all had
I'm
nights
surprised
like
they
that.
don't say, oh, well, obviously this is your territory, of course, that's fully established. So I'll just, I mean, why would I be here? Obviously, this is where you live. Isn't that how they deal with it? Anyway,
Turns out they
dear.
wrestle. They've got both passive and aggressive.
What
They lip
happens
wrestle.
post wrestling? They then, whoever wins, they're allowed to determine who is the largest fish, which establishes dominance.
okay.
Apparently.
Yeah. Well, good to know.
Yeah.
I'm glad they exist, I must say.
Me too.
Have you got a picture of them?
Yes, we can put up a
Have they got
picture
the fringe?
of the sarcastic fringehead. I think the fringe, I mean, look, it's hardly a sort of Liam at his peak
No.
fringe.
I have
Okay.
another question about our world's strongest men and their aviation.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Had the plane gone down into water in one of those water landings, would a life vest keep either of those two big units afloat?
Oh, no.
Great question.
Because surely a life
Yeah.
vest on a man of that size
Well, in a,
is just going to look like a bib.
Sully type situation.
Wouldn't their throats keep them above water?
I
They've got
worry that
very
they-
big throats.
Yeah.
They might just choose to drown like 5 other passengers so that they can have their life vests and stay afloat.
You might be glad of them when the sharks are approaching. Because either they can fill up on them, Otherwise, if anyone's going to beat the sharks off,
Yeah, it's the bloke called the Beast.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine sharks on the way as sharks do, absolute head down. They never look up for the pass.
No.
Sharks, they just go. And then seeing those two dangling in the water and saying, Paul, shall we leave it? Let's leave it. Let's just leave it. I was once moved. I was moved on a plane for balance
Oh, were you?
reasons. They came over and said, "Sorry, it's not a very busy flight. Could 7 or 8 of you move to the back of the plane?" It's a little bit unsettling. It is. I'd like to think that keeping the plane in the air is something that is the pilot's. I don't want me to have some sort of part in that I have to play.
Not your business.
No, I don't want it to be interactive flight. But just let the plane and the pilot combo deal with that. I don't want passenger distribution to be crucial. So, and I weigh, 10-10.
10-10.
Yeah, big 10-10. Should we do it again?
You know Phil Pfister.
Yeah, what about him? Oh, no, I'm no Phil Pfister. That's true. Not anymore.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
Emily was mooting the idea that she thought Louth was, what was it, like a coordinate?
I just thought it was an extra coordinate, like the sort of Harry Potter additional platform, maybe.
Right.
We get used to the 4, and I thought possibly Louth was just a hidden one.
So an
North.
element of south.
Yeah, north, east, south, Louth.
Yeah,
West.
like long south or something like that.
Lovely, lovely work, Frank.
Like a trap street.
You have it in one.
Do you know a trap
I
street?
knew we'd all be
Yes,
on the
yes,
same
I do.
page.
Yeah.
So you just say, like, if you go the coordinates, I'm just going to throw it in and see what people say. North, east, south, Louth,
Yeah.
west.
806.
And Beast, maybe Beast.
Has,
Or what's he called? Bobby the Beast.
Eddie Hall.
Bobby, the 1950s
Eddie
driver.
the Beast Hall.
Yeah.
Eddie Strongman Hall.
East.
Yeah.
Oh, 806 has texted, "Hi Frank and team, Louth is outside London in the Confederacy, so don't worry about it."
Oh,
and then a little
come
smile.
on.
Come
No,
on.
I think that's...
It's sort of southeast.
I think we can take that
believe.
in the spirit
No,
it's
south,
offered.
west, Frank.
What's southwest?
Louth
Louth.
is.
So it's not Lincolnshire.
No, it's Lincolnshire.
So, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And,
Thank you.
And 774 has said, "Worry not about passenger weight distribution. We were concerned about being moved
I was
within
moved.
an aeroplane."
I was moved by air
You were
crew.
moved.
Many's the time.
Well, comfortingly, and particularly this week with the environment being at the forefront of all of our minds, worry not about passenger weight distribution. It just saves fuel if it's well balanced.
Oh, because they were so worried about it. One of the stewardesses had to take off some of her makeup and put it in the other end of the plane. No, well, here's a point.
1954.
Here's a thing. Here's a thing. I'm told it's very bad for your skin. Regular flight.
Is
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Because I've asked you. I once asked the stewardess about. The
Oh, yes, you have
excess
to. It's
makeup.
dehydrating, isn't it?
And
the
she said,
flight?
"Oh, your skin gets that bad. You end up you start out not putting much makeup on, and then you just, you have to up it.
The pressure.
And it's helpful if there's a fire or something." But she was. I was reading. It's probably been 5 or 6 years ago about a US airline that found that its profit margin was dipping a bit, and it was to do they were spending more on fuel than they had previously, even though they were doing the same routes.
Right.
And that research showed it was takeoff that was doing the problem, and it's because their passengers were getting heavier. They were using more fuel to get the
Worldwide
plane off the
obesity
ground.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what it was?
I mean, I don't know how you handle that. Let's have
Weigh the passengers, not
right.
the luggage.
yeah, you could have weight. You know when you get charged more if it's over.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't have that.
Well,
Not in the
didn't
modern
Eddie
age.
the Beast Hall say he tried to weigh himself and it said error?
Yeah.
Oh, that reminded
When
me
he got
of,
on the machine.
Do you remember last week we discussed how I used to tease my brother who was heavier than me? But it's a different
He
time.
ain't heavy.
Back in the day, if somebody had a rounder face than you could make fun of them for being fat. Like, they didn't actually have to be, did they? And I used to do a thing where I said that they'd invented some speaking scales and that he'd got on it and it had said one at a time, please.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, I think that's...
fun times.
But yeah, it's all gone now.
Gone. Not forgotten.
I'll tell you something. If I was aircrew and the Beast and Brian Shaw were there, when you're doing the safety thing, you just don't want to bring up the brace position. Just don't even want to bring it up.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Here's the point.
Go on.
Should these men be allowed on a plane?
Lovely.
There's my tummy, yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely.
That's the top. Should they be allowed on a plane? And here's my point.
You think they're like BA from...
No, but
From the 80s.
here's the thing.
Ain't going on no plane.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they fit. If I got on a plane carrying an axe,
Right.
someone would say to me, "I'm sorry, you can't take that axe. You can put it in the hole, but you can't have that, 'cause, on
You've
the
got
plane."
a woodsman vibe about you.
Yeah.
I love you in that role.
I'm
Okay.
interested to think how Frank thinks that these human beings are axes.
Well,
No,
we're going to get...
but if a martial arts expert who could, with his bare hands, chop through 3 house bricks got on a plane, no one would stop that person. Now, that person, they're not carrying a lethal weapon. They are a lethal weapon.
In the eyes of the law.
So you're
In my
saying...
eyes, I know. For
They could
example,
karate chop their way out of the plane. And
but the idea, but they could, they could do damage to other passengers or the crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, how does Anthony Joshua get around?
Yeah, how do any of us
Similarly.
get around?
No, I can't walk into my child's school with a bag of peanuts,
Yes.
but I could
No.
walk. Alan Cochrane could walk into his school fully armed with the martial arts. He could do a lot more damage.
Start attacking those peanut-sensitive children.
No, but you could.
Hang on, I'll have
No,
a
I think
risk.
this is a serious point. What
it?
about if you are a weapon?
I think
You've got to be
Frank is
careful
asking
calling
a question
people
about
out.
a
Yes.
sort of fabric of society question. I
Yes.
think that's what it is.
I suppose
We're back on philosophy
what
now.
What
Let
would
me
your solution be then? So should people in the strength world, do you think they should just form their own community
I think-
maybe and we don't interact with them?
I think
Yeah?
anyone who is a potential killing machine should be in the same category as taking an axe on a plane.
And what do they do? Do they just have, maybe they wear something so we know?
Here's an example.
What about Mr. Miyagi?
I
If he
think
was
we-
flying long haul,
I think
nobody
we
would
use-
think that he was
No,
a killing
exactly.
machine.
They're the ones that you worry about, 'cause some of them you can see.
They're my favourites, the ones that don't look
Anthony
like tough
Joshua,
guys.
you know.
No, but Mr. Miyagi comes with an air of philosophy and wisdom, which means he's unlikely maybe to use it in vain.
Okay, so your
I would
system
say-
would require maybe they have to fill out a questionnaire and know who wrote Mill on the Floss.
Look, a
you
friend
know?
of mine was on a plane and a man got up in a frenzy of fear and tried to open the door on the plane.
Right.
And he was screaming and going mad. I mean, I can imagine it was a stressful situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, I say a friend of mine, someone I used to work with. I'm distancing him before I tell you the anecdote. So he got up and he hit this bloke, knocked him over.
Perfect.
But he said
That's
there
great.
was a panic happening. This bloke was causing hysteria on the plane.
Yeah.
People were terrified. He didn't knock him out, I don't think, but he knocked him over and it
Right.
subdued him.
Absolutely perfect. You put the fire out, and then everyone could get on with
I mean,
their
that's
day.
so strength world.
It's great.
Okay.
You put the fire out. Yeah, but
No,
so
but-
your point is...
Well, what about if the man doing it was from Strength World? He would have just knocked my former colleague over and
Strength
carried
world. It's not a DFS. There's not a sale
on.
this weekend.
What I'm saying is, in the context of a plane,
Yeah.
these people,
These
Yeah.
people.
No,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Frank,
they
in a way.
are uncontainable. They can't be stopped. Whatever
This
they
is-
want to do, they cannot be stopped.
This is why it's every other passenger on that plane's civic duty to become stronger and more capable.
We've got to join
So that
Strength
they can
World.
overpower the Strength
What
World
you're saying
people.
is, I've got to leave Weeble World and join Strength World.
We've all got to start exercising
No,
from
I'm
now,
saying
people.
there's an
He's saying
argument that they should have flights for bright people and flights for strong people.
What about people that are both? I know several people that are both.
Well, I think
bear it. Go to the music.
you could have two-seater planes for them.
Please go to the music. I can't bear it.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Here's a question. Which
Thanks,
I would-
Beyonce.
I'd be good if someone could answer this. My partner asked me if I'd like to taste her vinegary mango. And I was confused because I thought, surely mango is the epitome of sweetness. And she said there's some... She said there's something wrong with this one. And it was new. There was no discoloration or anything.
No added vinegar?
Nothing. It
Right.
tasted like vinegar.
Did
I
it?
mean, it was...
Oh, because I love the sound of her mango.
Is that where they get vinegar? Mangoes?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
they get the vinegar from the grapes.
But the weird
Is it from grapes?
I think it is.
Is it
vinegar.
really?
Yeah, I think it is because when people say, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway.
I mean, apple cider vinegar isn't, but that's
it
just a side
it
issue.
tasted so unpleasant. I went to bed and it wasn't just that horrible taste. I was a bit upset by it. I was upset by the taste. Honestly, I was emotionally.
Did it stay with you, the taste?
No,
think-
luckily I had some extra strong mints in the bedroom.
Oh, Alan's always got
Luckily.
those. I mean, you
Luckily.
complain about the strongies,
Yeah.
but you get them out when you need them.
But
Yeah.
I just wondered if anyone knows about these things. Because this was not an off.
So when
this
you
was
say
a
these
fresh,
things, do you mean...
fresh mango.
A fresh mango with no discoloration at all. It wasn't old.
Oh, you're not selling things on the beach.
No added vinegar, but
so
yet tasted
what
vinegar.
bothered you was that it was very tart.
You know when you have I don't know if you've ever tucked into a number of Brazil nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Occasionally you get soapy Brazil,
Yes.
who I think is also an underworld figure.
Was it
Used to-
Alan's nickname?
Used to run errands for the Crays. No, so you get one that just tastes like soap. It's absolutely disgusting. And again, not black or, in any way looking old. Just,
Right.
I'd love to know if anyone knows, can explain the vinegary mango phenomenon to me. I would love to know.
Well, the last time you asked a food question like this, it was about exploding tomato ketchup, and I thought you were, I thought you'd run mad, and it turned out that lots of people have had it.
Yeah, that was weird.
It
That was
ferments in the
yeah,
bottle. Yeah,
fermenting.
So you might be onto another winner here with your
Well, I don't.
vinegary
I know, but I
mango
would genuinely.
question.
I don't ask these things just to fill the time.
I'm aware.
We want answers.
And you've
it's like the cyanide almond, which we've discussed. Ploughing through a
yes.
lovely almond, possibly salted, possibly not, depends on your personal pref. Then you come across a cyanide one. And do you know this
But
sensation? Claire?
isn't the thing with cyanide that it smells of almonds?
Yes,
Oh,
because
dear.
there is a tiniest percentage of cyanide in the almond, I believe. Okay.
Well, I'll go to our house.
One of
what
your
we used to
earlier
say.
questions was what memorabilia have people got?
Yeah.
855 has texted, I'm in the army and Matt Dawson came to visit our camp. Being a member of the regiment rugby team, we got to meet him. Matt Dawson's an England
Question
rugby
of
player.
sport.
Yes,
isn't
yes. Maybe he seemed nice. With Mother's Day looming, I got him to sign a Tesco's Value Mother's Day card worth 12p. He wrote, to Christine, my signature is worth more than this card. Lots of love, Matt Dawson.
Good point.
That is an excellent gift.
It's very hard to know what to write when people say, can you write something funny? It's one of the difficult, on cards and things.
And also, it's a funny thing to say, but not that big a brag that his signature is worth more than 12.
No,
Nobody's going to go,
nice,
who do you think
it's
you are?
Nicely judged.
Mr. 13p signature.
That is. We had another one, but we better do it after this break in our strange memorabilia. I say memorabilia competition. Is it a competition? There is no prize. Don't kid yourselves. I'm trapped in the end of this link. Can you help me out?
Alan, can you open the door? Do something.
Don't say that. What if he goes? See, he could kill us in here.
I don't think I could. I'm not that great.
We're weeks away from it.
Oh yeah. What if he did?
What, okay, went on the Strongy rampage?
I don't want to think about it.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a dangerous people on planes missive.
Okay.
695. Sat next to an elderly Japanese gentleman at a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Transpired he'd travelled from Japan with his wife. He was in his late 70s, 5 foot 1 inch tall.
Okay.
He...
Interesting use of tall.
It was a strange emphasis, wasn't it? 5 foot 1 inches tall. I should have just said 5 foot 1 inches tall. Anyway,
I think
he'd been searched.
I think Alan's making the point that why even bring up the subject of tall?
Oh, I see. I had also put an odd emphasis on it, but yeah, to me that's how we do 5 foot 1.
He travelled in the overhead locker.
He'd been searched and detained at security. He was an Aikido master and declared as a lethal weapon in his passport.
Here we go. You see, they all
Hence-
laughed at Christopher Columbus when he said the world was round.
Hence, every time they go on holiday, he gets scrutinised and searched. So there is a system where these people are known. Have a good day. The medical team at Brands Hatch. Smashing
Wow,
the boys.
excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
Shout out to the medical team at Brands Hatch,
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll see you soon, guys.
who I've got more respect for than this Aikido master.
Do you not have
Also,
respect
what's
for
the
him?
point?
I said Aikido.
What's
It's
the point?
Aikido.
What's the point of searching him? Because he's the weapon.
Oh,
Is
so
he
careful.
heck?
He'll get the shurikens out.
Also, like,
Yeah, but
if he's an old Aikido guy, probably, somebody that's never done anything, picking up one of the food trays and just slapping somebody with it would be more dangerous than this dude.
well, of course you are going to defend these dangerous people.
Supposedly dangerous.
What about muzzling? Could they travel? What if they travelled in handcuffs? say?
Hannibal Lecter on a trolley.
What about their hands tied behind their back on flight? That's a compromise.
What, for the strongmen?
For anyone,
you-
anyone who
Okay, I've got an
qualifies as a
idea.
weapon.
I don't know what you think. Maybe, I'm just playing around with ideas, Al, so don't get upset. Maybe a tranquilizer dart, like you use for a chimpanzee or a gorilla. Or
Right.
something like that. Something that could be with brute force, can be or a horse or an elephant. I'm not comparing any of the strength world to them, but you should have the legal right to sedate them with a tranquilizer dart. Any member of the
Are
public.
you thinking air crew with a holster?
Yeah.
With
No, I think all members of the public are allowed to have one on a flight that they're on.
What a
Well, I
tranquilizer.
think no, but then what you're doing then, you see, is what you're losing at one end. You've given all these people a weapon. What we want to get rid of is the person who is a weapon, not make everyone a
Oh,
weapon.
sorry, I've got sort of eye for an eye.
I think
Attitude towards life, sorry.
Ironically, no.
I think handcuff
Frank
behind the
hasn't.
back is
have thought.
perfectly reasonable.
Okay, well, are we all agreed on that?
If I was a killing machine, I'd be happy to give in to that just for the joy of knowing that when I get off, people better have some respect. That's all. That's
Do you
all I'm
think
saying.
you've got the propensity to kill?
Eventually. No,
8, 12, 15.
I don't think you have.
See if we can weed them out.
You're a
I've
gentle
always
soul.
thought it's probably a good thing.
Wow, we've had
that I'm-
300 yeses already. I've only just...
I've always thought it's good that I'm not a master of the martial arts. Because I look back sometimes when people have annoyed me and I thought if I could have killed that person, not
Yeah.
killed them maybe, but
to sleep.
So I was just tore off a limb.
Yeah.
It's probably better, I think, that I couldn't. If I could, I mean, oh dear. You just wouldn't. It's best not to be able to, isn't it? This is why people often try to align it with Eastern mysticism and stuff. So you've got, a bit of philosophy attached to it to try and talk you out of it, try and talk you down. But yeah, there's all these people all over Britain trying to be
All over
assassins.
Britain.
Yeah.
Britain. The assassin capital of the world.
Well, I'm giving that
You
as
said
a
that to
as
me
a
when you
forward.
saw boxing gloves in my boot. And
Yeah.
you saw a riding hat and a boxing gloves. And you said, what are you, some sort of assassin?
James Bond figure.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We had a bit of a memorabilia chat earlier, and One of the more obscure texts that's come into commercial radio on a Saturday morning, I suspect. I suppose you couldn't play under a haven't heard it for ages theme. One of my most cherished possessions is a Jake Thackeray bar chit. I'm assuming that's his bill. Is that?
Yeah.
Best and happy Easter from Kate.
Jake Thackeray, for our younger listeners, was a sort of English. I guess you'd call him a folk singer, not traditional folk. He wrote stuff.
Okay. He wrote stuff, Vanity Fair.
He used to be on telly a lot. He used to be on things like...
He didn't write Vanity Fair.
No. He used to be on...
It's another one.
Those consumer affairs, that's life type thing.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He used to do a different song every week. He actually sang a song about a gorilla, as I referred to. Brother Gorilla. Which I think was a translation of a Jacques Brel song about a gorilla that breaks free from a cage and has the physicals with a High Court judge.
Stop stealing material from Capital Radio DJs.
Okay. Oh, I heard a thing the other day. No, what station was it? Anyway, someone texted into this DJ read it out, and it said when you played... who was it they played? It was a sort of soul type star.
Modern?
Male soul type person. Like, who was the bloke from the Communards? Lionel Richie. Someone like that.
Okay,
so when you played Lionel Richie, blah, 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 that was music to my ears. I thought, yes, because it was music. And you have ears. What else would it be to your ears? They didn't pick up on it. They just read that out.
We've had a message from Captain Kremen from Harrogate.
Captain Kremen was... he was the Kenny Everett cartoon figure.
He was, exactly. But I wouldn't know because obviously I don't watch cartoons.
No, not now.
But this, I'm going to have to deny this forever. It's been very awkward. I think he's a genuine captain. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ha Airlines use assumed weights for passengers. What's
Okay.
Ha Airlines? Is this a joke airline or a real one?
Norwegian. Is
Somebody,
it?
Possibly. Could you find out, please? Thank
Is
you.
it run by Morton Harkett?
Yeah. Good.
So if you have the odd pie eater, it is taken into account.
Okay.
They weigh sample loads every couple of years to make sure they're still accurate. On an A330, for example, we don't know what the aircraft weighs to about 3 to 4 tons because of averaging. It doesn't matter because the flight plans and performance is ultra-conservative and gives protection.
Fantastic.
Also, the aeroplane weighs itself once airborne and then balances itself by pumping fuel fore and aft.
Excellent.
Simples.
But here's
He
the
doesn't
question.
put simples.
He has put simples, but I'm going to forgive him because he put fore and aft.
But here's a question. Let's say you run a private jet company,
Okay, I do.
and you get a phone call from, say, Storm, the popular model agency, saying we want to fly some of our girls out to Milan for
Yes.
Milan Fashion Week. They're obviously going to be the other extreme. Is it possible that you would never be able to get the plane out the sky?
No, I think their luggage would counteract it. I think it'd be all
Of
right.
course, their luggage. I hadn't thought about that. That's a very good
I
point.
still haven't found out whether Ha Airlines is genuine or just some sort of Muppet Show Airlines.
It's
Just briefly before we go, I think.
No, it is real. Han Airlines.
Oh, excellent.
They fly between Düsseldorf,
Or maybe it was autocorrect.
Blondie, and Luxembourg.
Arguably the best memorabilia text that we've had in was in a pub outskirts of Manchester with lots of MUFC, Manchester United fans, memorabilia on the walls, got talking to 3 locals. One of them had a signed high-vis vest after doing community service along with Eric Cantona when he kicked that Crystal Palace fan. There's a lot to like in that.
That's a beautiful. I think just the idea of memorabilia you can see in the dark is such a great thing.
I think memorabilia from a fellow Crim is always nice.
Yes.
What a great bloke. Doesn't Cantona come out of that well that he would sign a
Definitely.
high-vis jacket in that context?
Need a Sharpie for that.
Oh, Le Grand Eric, as Peter Cook used to call him on fantasy football. All those years ago. Okay, that's the end of the show. Thank you for listening to us. Happy Easter. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.